I'm not EU citizen, getting a job here in Finland, fintech industry, your resume, foreigner's name, that not working. Hi everyone, how are we today? So we're gonna talk about getting a job here in Finland by sharing my job hunting experience. I know a lot of you are eager to find out about this information, and I feel like I'm semi-qualified to talk about it because I'm a Burmese and I managed to find a job here in Finland, and most importantly, I managed to keep it for almost 3 years. So I guess that's a good sign. And besides, this was exactly the type of information I was looking for when I was about to move to Finland. So I hope you enjoy it. Now, I can't really speak on behalf of all of Finland because I'm currently working and living here in Helsinki, but I hope the tips and the recommendations that I'm gonna give you are still useful. So I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get right into it. So I'll give you a little bit of background on my field and my story on how I got my job here in Finland. So I've already got about 5 years of work experience from working in the biomedical field and fintech industry back in Singapore. So that's where I gained the skills on the process management, business development, communication, and leading the projects. So when I decided to move to Finland, I started looking for similar positions in fintech industry here in Finland, but fintech industry isn't that popular here in Finland as compared to Singapore. So I ended up keeping the job from Singapore for about 4 or 5 months even after I moved to Finland. After that, I started to really focus on finding a job here in Finland. And after furiously searching for about 3-4 months here in Finland, I finally landed in a job where I can really grow myself in an international working environment, and I've been working there ever since. So it worked out pretty well for me. Well, if I can recommend one thing, just one thing, this is going to be the one. Make sure your resume is in Finnish format. So before I got my job here, I was sending out my resume in standard resume format, which I have used in Singapore. So it contains all my personal particulars, my past education background, my work experience, and so on. But in Finnish resume format, it's completely different. It usually is just one single page, and you don't really need to include your personal particulars if you don't want to. You don't have to include your pictures if you don't feel like it, so that's completely fine. Actually, you can check out the link in the description box because I uploaded a Finnish resume template for you. So if you feel like it, you can have a look at it, or you can also just search it on Google. You will find loads of images online. And in your resume, you might want to include some keywords that are relevant to the industry that you're searching your job in, because in Finland they usually put the resume in the database, and if you don't have a good keyword relevant to your industry, then your resume will not be discovered. And also, the resume doesn't really have to be in Finnish. You can just write it in English, but just make sure that you're including all the skills that are relevant to the industry that you're looking for, that the resume is a presentable one-pager Finnish format. Also, there have been comments about recruiters skipping the resumes when they see the foreigner's name. But trust me, that didn't happen to me because I have the most foreigner sounding name that you can ever imagine, and it still doesn't matter. I guess it depends on the background that you have and how relevant your skills are for the job that you're applying for. So number one tip is to have your resume in Finnish format, and it's really easy to do. Just do a little bit of Google searches and you'll be able to find it. A lot of the question I've been getting is how I managed to work here in Finland because I'm not EU citizen or I don't have any education background in EU countries. So if you have family ties in EU, with that visa you will be able to work here. But if not, then your employer should be able to get you a visa for you to work here. So the whole process of getting the work visa was quite easy as well. You can just apply it yourself online on a Migri website, but you might need to go to a migrant office in person just to give them your biometric identification. Actually, it was a very smooth process, and you can actually read up the whole procedure and the process in Enter Finland website, which I will link it down in the description box below as well. So the other thing I get asked a lot is where I apply the job. So I used LinkedIn a lot. I made sure my LinkedIn profile was up to date. So on LinkedIn, I want to search the companies that I want to work here, and I set myself the notification so that whenever they have new job position open, then I will get the notification to my email account. And I have several colleagues that got hired through LinkedIn, so the Finnish recruiters really do approach their prospects on LinkedIn. Another one that's really great is Oikotie. You can also set the notifications of the jobs that you're interested in, and of course you will get the updates about it. But personally, I would recommend you to just go and search the companies that you want to work in on Google, and go to their main website, go to the open jobs, and just find the position that you want to apply. And if they don't, look out for an email that you could send to, and make sure to send your resume to the email, including the skills that you have and the position that you're looking for. Yeah, who knows, maybe if you're lucky or if they're interested in you, they might even create a job position for you, because that happened to me. I applied a few jobs through that format. I got the invitations to those companies that I applied for, but unfortunately the job positions weren't a good match for me, so I didn't really get my job from that type of job application method. But still, I take it as a good way to practice your job hunting skills, and when you go to the interview, you're getting this interview experience. And of course, it's very rare that you will get your job from right after your first interview. And yeah, especially when you don't know how the job market is like in a new country. So it's good to go to as much job interview as possible so that you get the experience, you warm up yourself a little bit, and when the actual job that you're interested in comes along, that's when you're gonna score it. So another thing I want to mention is that networking is really important here in Finland. So when I first moved to Finland, I didn't have any connection in Finland except my husband, who was my boyfriend back then. So I really didn't know how to start the networking here in Finland. So I started going to Finnish courses, and that's where I met a lot of international people who are in the similar process of looking for a job, or they understand more of the process of getting a job here in Finland. So I went to resume clinics, and I went to the networking events, and I'm still going to some of those events even now, just to keep my connections alive. By making connection, I meant that I want to make people aware of my professional skills, qualities, and ensuring that I am a reliable person as an individual, so I can be trusted both personally and professionally. So another thing I want to mention is how the interview process worked. It was pretty simple. So there were a couple of video interviews that you have to complete, and then it was followed by a couple more face-to-face interviews. And then once they decided that I'm the right choice for the position, there was like another 1 week of getting the documentation sorted out. And I have to emphasize that it's really nice to go through this interview process, because I think Finnish employers, they are very straight to the point. They didn't really like ask you what are your strengths or your weakness or what are your aspirations. They didn't waste time on asking that type of questions. They really get to the business about whether you are able to perform the job, what type of skills you have, whether your skills are suitable for the position that you're applying. So I guess it's really straight to the point. As long as you have the skills, you are presentable, and you know what you have to do, and you know you can do it, then I don't think there is anything holding you back from getting a job? Well, you know, sometimes those scenario questions are very ridiculous, and I'm just really happy that I didn't have to deal with those in the interview process in Finland. This is pretty much all the tips I have for now on how to get a job here in Finland, especially in Helsinki. And if you do have any questions, leave them down below because I definitely want to help you out. So I've been making a series of my tips in living in Finland, which is a little bit different from my vlogs, but you guys seem to enjoy it. And I really like sharing my experiences, so I do hope that you enjoy watching this too. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave any comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I post videos quite frequently and I do love to see you around next time. That would be pretty much everything for today, and I will be seeing you guys very soon. Bye!